Good afternoon, it's Stone's Bit Premiership semi-final day, St Helens against Warrington here at Knowsley Road. The teams this afternoon: St Helens at 1, Phil Vevers; 2, Barry Ledger; 3, Paul Loughlin; 4, Mark Elio; 5, Kevin McCormick; 6, Paul Doherty; 7, Neil Holding; 8, Tony Burke; 9, Graham Liptrot; 10, John Fieldhouse; 11, Paul Round; 12, Roy Haggerty; 13, Andy Platt. Substitutes for St Helens: 14, Sean Allen; 15, Paul Forber. Warrington at 1, Brian Johnson; 2, Des Drummond; 3, Barry Peters; 4, Joe Reparty; 5, Mark Forster. At 6, Paul Bishop; 7, Keith Holden; 8, Kevin Tamity; 9, Mark Roskell; 10, Bob Jackson; 11, Tony Humphries; 12, Mark Roberts; 13, Ronnie Dwayne. Substitutes for Warrington: 14, Gary Sanderson; 15, Bob Eccles. The referee this afternoon is Mr Robin Whitfield from Widnes. His subjudge is Mr Lightfoot with the yellow flag, Mr Lloyd with the red flag. And a place at Old Trafford in the first ever Stones Bit Premiership final double header at stake. The fifth meeting between the two sides, the fourth at Knowsley Road. Already met here in the Lancashire Cup, which St Helens won, in the John Player Special Trophy game, which Warrington won, and in the league game, which St Helens won. Also back at Warrington there was the drawn league game, 17 all. And no doubt one of the most important factors in this game is how St Helens have reacted to last Saturday's Wembley defeat at the hands of Halifax. The two captains, Graham Liptrot for St Helens in the absence of Chris Arkwright and Bob Jackson, tossing the coin. And the teams will swap round, so Warrington will be playing from left to right in this first half with the slight breeze that is blowing from left to right. In the blue shirts with the yellow and white V. St Helens in the white with the red V. And it'll be Warrington who'll get the game underway with Paul Bishop. So this Stones Bit Premiership game about to get underway, but the wind already causing problems. Ball falling over. And now we're underway in the Stones Bit Premiership semi-final between St Helens and Warrington. Good kick there, safely taken by Paul Loughlin. But good tackle early off, and Tamity pinches it, the ball's loose. Warrington in possession, 6 tackles then, midway inside the 25 early on. It's out to Keith Holden. Holden gives the dummy, looks for the gap, cuts back inside, he's still going. He's stopped a couple of yards short. Great start here from Warrington. Roskell to Bishop. Bishop gets the dummy, tries to go through himself. This time he's pushed back though by 3 Saints defenders. Roskell to Tamity. Tamity floated past to Peters, brings in Dwayne. Dwayne tries to drive through. He's going to lose forward position in the absence of Alan Rathbone this afternoon. Roskell to Tamity. Tamity, that's a nice ball to Peters, to Jackson. Goes behind him. Drummond picked up by Reparty. Reparty trying to drive through. There's 4 St Helens players on him. Warrington though still about 7 or 8 yards from the St Helens line. The 6th tackle. Bishop tries to drop goal. It's there. Good start for Paul Bishop. Remember in the semi-final last year, he kicked 5 against Wigan. He opens the scoring with a drop goal this afternoon at Knowsley Road. It's St Helens 0, Warrington 1. So 1-0 to Warrington. A drop goal from Paul Bishop. Neil Holding restarts for St Helens. Kevin Tamity takes it safely, runs straight into Liptrot and Fieldhouse. Referee calls held, plays it to himself, does Tamity offside, surely. It's out to Bob Jackson. Jackson head down, drives forward, he's brought down by Paul Round. Roskell to Keith Holden, short one to Humphries. Humphries drives forward. He'll have a point to prove after being sent off in the league game quite unjustly. It's out to Paul Bishop. Bishop, the ball's loose. St Helens in possession. St Helens first attack for them. Roy Haggerty. Haggerty driving forward. St Helens have their first attack of the game inside the Warrington 25. It's out to Fieldhouse. Fieldhouse run around move. Liptrot. Danger here now. Round cuts inside. Good tackle for Tony Humphries. Could be a try-saving one. But it was just to be a trip, and St Helens have a penalty, which leaves Paul Round injured on the floor. Helens, a conversion penalty goal attempt by Paul Loughlin to try and put St Helens into the lead. So Paul Loughlin wants another ball, saying the one that he's got is a bit flat. So Paul Loughlin has been kicking these all season. Should be an easy penalty attempt for Paul Loughlin, who's top of the goal kicking charts. Loughlin then straight through the centre. St Helens in the lead at 2-1. Paul Loughlin's 190th goal. St Helens 2, Warrington 1 as Paul Bishop restarts. High floater kick, a deep one. Safely taken by Paul Loughlin. Loughlin then moves forward. Good tackling though there. Keith Holden in the tackle with Mark Roberts. Comes on this near side. Good driving over Platt. Good ball out to Tony Burke. Good tackle from Barry Peters. Lip drop this time. Doherty holding across the line. Vivers did well to take it. Mark Foster was quickly up there. Good tackle from Foster. St Helens lose ground there on the tackle on round. Goes out to Holding. Little grubber kick through. It's a good one. Keith Holden's there. Goes through his legs. Holden goes himself. Caught by Neil Holding. Roscoe this time onto Ronnie Dwayne. Dwayne tried to drive through the centre. 3 St Helens players there to bring him down in midfield. Midway side of the States half of the field. Mark Roscoe acting half back onto Bob Jackson. Jackson driving forward, turns in the tackle but can't get the ball away. Roscoe once more to Bishop. Bishop brings in Humphreys. Humphreys drives in. Makes it to the St Helens 25-yard line with a good buttering run does Tony Humphreys. Roscoe sends it out left with Bishop. Holden run around with Bishop. The ball's loose, picked up by Liptrot. John Fieldhouse, long passed around onto Haggerty. Haggerty cuts back inside. Still Roy Haggerty. Takes place just inside the Warrington half. Good tackle from Kevin Tamerty. And Kevin Tamerty then penalised. He always plays with those penalties though, Roy Haggerty. The amount of penalties he gets for just wriggling about on the floor, unbelievable, which gives St Helens a penalty to make more ground inside the Warrington half of the field. Paul Loughlin fires one in. Holding. Burke turns in the tackle, good smothering the ball coming from Kevin Tamerty and Tony Humphreys. Holding this time, out to Fieldhouse. Fieldhouse going across field. Fieldhouse still going. Finally caught by Mark Robertson, Ronnie Dwayne. St Helens though on the attack now. Andy Platt. Platt still going. Good tackle from Kevin Tamerty there on Andy Platt. Plays it to Elliot. Elliot out right to Liptrot. Round looking for a gap. Good ball to Haggerty, but he drops it. Kicks it on. There'll be no advantage there. That'll be a knock on and a scrum down. There's Roy Haggerty there, looked for the gap but just couldn't take the pass. So a scrum down just inside the Warrington 25. Paul Bishop puts the ball in, comes away round the blind side of the scrum, gives a dummy. Quickly caught. Roscoe, long pass to Bob Jackson. Jackson gives a dummy. Caught by Tony Burke. Good. Jackson still manages to get out of his own 25 though. Roscoe to Keith Holden. Holden moves forward. Good ball to Ronnie Dwayne. Dwayne moves back in field. Finally Paul Doherty puts him to the floor. Roscoe short to Holden. Holden, nice pass to Rapati. Cuts back inside. Caught by Round. What about that for line on, referee? It's all the same this. He's wanting to get penalised when St Helens do it, it's alright. Ruskell this time, onto Bishop. Bishop floated past to Mark Roberts. Good ball to Tony Humphries. Humphries looking to get the ball away. Just caught by Paul Loughlin. Sixth tackle there for Warrington. Ruskell sends it back to Keith Holden. Holden, little grubber kick. Caught by Vivers. Vivers moves forward. Good tackle from Mark Ruskell. Lip trot to Burt. Burt's got room to move. Makes it to the halfway line before he's brought down. Round this time. Lip trots. Perhaps he would have been better to pass that because Round may well have been through. Doughty out to John Fieldhouse. Holding found the gap. Still Neil Holding. Chances here now. Haggerty. Knock on by Holding. Picked up by Foster. And Foster there gratefully dives on the ball for Warrington inside the 25. Pat says just one too many passes there. Got to slow it down through the forwards. Bob Jackson, good run, makes 10-15 yards. On first receiver is Bob Jackson. Goes out to Holden. Holden short ball to Roberts. Roberts gets away from one tackle. Mark Ruskell to Paul Bishop. Bishop kicks on this near side. Got a good kick from Bishop. Brilliant kick from Paul Bishop there. Takes St Helens back inside their own 25 with a great kick. So scrum down just inside the 25. St Helens in possession. McCormack. Good tackle from Roy Dwayne there, coming away from the base of the scrum to cut the ground out for McCormick. It's out to Doherty. Doherty looking for a gap. Obstruction surely. Well, if Doherty may have gone for the gap there, he would have been through. Decides to dumb it. Paul Doherty, who's taking the place of Brett Clark, who's back in Australia now. So just over 10 minutes gone in this first half. It's St Helens 2, Warrington 1. Warrington have possession with Bishop. The referee's not happy. Bishop goes round once more to put the ball in for Warrington, and it goes. Warrington in possession, out to Holden. Holden switches it to Peters. Peters. Good run from Peters, still going. Good run from Barry Peters there. Makes it to the St Helens 25. Playing well on the second game. Came in the first round for engaged Hulkingston Rovers. Kevin Taverty, lovely pass to Roy Dwayne. Dwayne's parrying for the corner. He's still got his hand to Rapati. He scores. Joe Rapati in the corner. So easy. Good try there. Brilliant break for Ronnie Dwayne. Cut it inside. And it's a good one from Joe Rapati. So 5-2. Joe Rapati scores in the corner. Great break from Ronnie Dwayne. Great backing up from Joe Rapati. Warrington, of course, the holders of the Premiership competition. Bishop then. It goes up. Goes wide. So St Helens 2, Warrington 5. "12 minutes gone in the first half. First try of the afternoon goes to Warrington and to the Warrington centre. Joe Rapati giving him his good run of tries. So Holding to restart. This time a deeper kick. Good take from Ronnie Dwayne. Playing well at the moment in these opening 10 minutes. Made that try. And then makes it to his own 25 and a good clear of the run. Clear of his lines run. Des Drummond, first touch of the afternoon for him. Goes himself in the play of the ball. Goes down the centre, gets out of one tackle. Belly brought down by Round. And a penalty given to St Helens. Another 10 yards for talking. Did look at a very harsh tackle there for Round, right round Drummond's neck. Bob Jackson having a word with the referee. So, chance here to pull the deficit back to 1 point here. Barry Ledger taking the kicks, Paul Loughlin injured over on that far side, which Sean Allen now stripped off on the near touchline here. It looks like Paul Loughlin could go off. So Barry Ledger. Chance to pull difference back to a point. Ledger then, and he's put that wide. So the score remains at St Helens 2, Warrington 5. Bishop restarts, Beavers takes it safely, Beavers moves forward. Good tackle over on that far side. Ronnie Dwayne with Kevin Tamati. Doherty to lip drop, he brings in Tony Burke. Burke, he'll be pushed back. Some good strong tackling coming in from Warrington at the moment. Loughlin looks like he'll be going to be replaced, limping very badly on that far touch line. Here's Tony Burke though for St Helens. Burke takes play just inside the Warrington half of the field. John Fieldhouse going across field, good ball to Haggerty, better ball to Platt. Andy Platt now throws the ball out to Ledger, but Ledger stops. Ledger's going backwards, Ledger's going nowhere. Lip dropped, long floated pass to Beavers. Holding back inside to Elia. Elia's still going nowhere. Still back Elia though. Straightening up now. And he's lost it. Haha. Mark it there, trying to be too cocky, loses the ball. Keith Holden out to Bob Jackson. Jackson does well, stays things down for Warrington. Just over 15 minutes gone in this first half. Warrington lead by 5 points to 2. And they're in possession with Keith Holden. Short to Bishop. Bishop once again kicking downfield. Once again it looks a good kick. Ditano just bouncing inside, bouncing awkwardly. He'll touch in goal, he'll stay in. Forcing Beavers to pick the ball up. Runs straight into Bishop. Bishop brings him down superbly. Quickly plays it to McCormick. Good tackle again from Paul Bishop. Lip drop to Tony Burt. Burt Bishop's there again. Great tackling from Paul Bishop. 3 on the shots. Fieldhouse. Good break for Fieldhouse. Great interception for Paul Bishop. Brilliant interception there. Took it off Joe Fieldhouse. Slobby pass. Here's Kevin Tamati out to Roskell. Not the best pass in the world. Roskell's going backwards. Picked up by Bob Jackson. In fact, it was Tony Humphries who went down bravely. Holden, nice little dummy, straightens up. Stopped by Platt. Really derby atmosphere at the moment. With over 10,000 packed into Knowsley Road this afternoon. It's Kevin Tamati. Picked up by Holden. Holden allows for a gap down the centre. Looks for support, finds it from Roskell. Roskell gets away from one man. Onto Dwayne. Dwayne though just caught this time. Roskell. Holden swings it back to Bishop. Bishop. Still Bishop. Nice pass to Humphries. Humphries gets away from Elia. Onto Rapati. To Drummond. Back to Rapati. Great play. Rapati crashing for the line. Brilliant play for Joe Rapati and Des Drummond there. There seems no room at all on this near touch line. It's out to Bishop. He tries another drop goal. It goes out wide. Foster's going in for it. Oh, lucky about Foster. He's penalised. That's it. Great play there for Foster. Came from nowhere. And a substitute being made. Paul Loughlin will go off. On will come Sean Allen. Scrum down 5 yards from the St Helens line. Important scrum now for both sides to win. After that miraculous Mark Foster coming in from nowhere after Bishop's drop goal went wide. Mark Foster raced in, got to the ball first but knocked it on. Scrum down there, Bishop goes for it, kicks it forward. Referee's not happy, scrum will reform. Holding will put the ball in for St Helens, but he won't have the chance. Warington are penalised. 5 yards from the St Helens line. Kevin Tamsey can't believe the decision. Holding then goes to kick for touch, just make sure, with Paul Loughlin now off the field. No doubt St Helens will take in turns kicking, because Barry Ledger having missed one. Good tackle from Tony Humphries. Liptrot gives a dummy, goes back right to Haggerty, crunching tackle on Haggerty. We're being pelted with stones by the St Helens supporters. I don't know if you can hear them flying. Risky pass to Holding. Holding trying to go down the centre. Goes right with Fieldhouse. Fieldhouse Beavers gets the ball to Haggerty, cuts it back inside, the ball's loose. Knock on, scrum down. Ball goes in, Warington in possession, brings in Mark Foster. Foster's straightening up. He's caught by Platt and Doherty. Halfway through this first half, 20 minutes gone. Barry Peters there, just caught. Another stone comes up. Shows the mentality of St Helens supporters. Here's Mark Roberts. Mark Roberts being lied upon the tackle. Referee does nothing to give any free kick or anything, as he did before to St Helens earlier in the game. Here's Holden, gives the dummy out to Bishop. Bishop caught by Andy Platt. Mark Roskell onto Ronnie Dwayne. Dwayne straightens up, throws a pass out to Drummond. Drummond, good pass to Humphries. Humphries storming forward, still Tony Humphries. Great run from Tony Humphries. Great run from Tony Humphries. Fantastic run from Tony Humphries. 6th tackle then. Midway inside the 25, Bishop's waiting for a drop goal. Here he is, throws it out to Roberts, it's an overlap. Mark Roberts, a long pass to Mark Foster. Foster tries to beat Mark, cuts it back inside. Intercepted by Mark Elliott and he's in touch. Good play from Warington there. In fact, it was Sean Allen who was pushed in touch. The St Helens seem to have retrieved the ball. So scrum down, midway inside the St Helens 25. And handed out at the scrum, says referee Mr Whitfield, and St Helens have the penalty. Neil Holding puts the ball into touch. Liptrot to Fieldhouse. Fieldhouse, good strong tackle down John Fieldhouse by Bob Jackson. It's on to Tony Burke. Burke tried to drive down the centre. Warington quickly up though. Liptrot, Doherty, Holding. Doherty's long saucy pass to Elliott. Elliott gets away to McCormack. McCormack moves back in field, still McCormack. He's stopped by Des Drummond. Vivers sends it out right. Holding, Fieldhouse, and the ball's loose again. Mark Foster going for it. He's got it, and Mark Foster, that is not a knock on, because Mark Foster kicked it on with his knees, but the referee thought it was a knock on and brings play back. Stones. So scrum down on St Helens 25. Bishop has it out to Keith Holden, juggles with it, onto Johnson, link it up. Holden to Ronnie Dwayne. Dwayne trying to go through the centre, gets away from one tackle, stopped by the two Saints second row. Roskell left to Jackson. Jackson going looking for a gap down the centre. Roscoe once more to Holden, to Bishop, back to Holden, brings in Roberts, the ball's loose. St Helens in possession. Doherty. There's his 25 before he's brought down. Lip drop to John Fieldhouse. Fieldhouse turns. This time keeps hold of the ball. Goes right to Platt. Out to Holding. Swings it back to Burke. Burke under pressure. And he'll have to take the tackle. Goes on to Holding. Holding to Liptrot. Flash out to Rowden, he can't take it. Picked up by Haggerty, but that's a knock on. So referee trying to... Bishop out to Holden. Holden going round in circles, goes down the centre, still Keith Holden. Still raining on us at the moment. Penalty to St Helens. Haggerty storming forward. Warrington weren't ready for that one. Doherty Holding back to Fieldhouse. Fieldhouse drops it. Back in possession. Warrington. Kevin Tamati. It's on to Holden. Out to Ronnie Dwayne. Dwayne moving forward over on that far side. Back inside to Peters. Peters looking for a gap. Does well, does Peters. Bishop on to Jackson. Jackson looking for a space down the centre. 15 minutes left in the first half. Ronnie Dwayne. Warrington lead by 5 points to 2 and have had most of the play in this first half. Kevin Tamati to Paul Bishop. Bishop. Still Bishop. Rounds 2 Saints players. Swings it back to Brian Johnson. Johnson now gives the dummy. Throws a good pass. It's the Saints man. It hit the Saints man's hand. How can it be a forward pass? But the referee has brought play back for a scrum down. St Helens in possession with Sean Allen by Ledger. In fact, it is Ledger. Throws it back to Vivers. Good tackle from Ronnie Dwayne on Phil Vivers. Goes left with Holding. Holding swings a pass to Elia. Caught with the foot. That'll be a trip. Penalty. Tony Huffis will have a talking to. Holding then to put for touch. Puts it safely in. Holding to take the tap. On to Tony Burke. Burke driving forward. Good tackling there from Bob Jackson and Tony Humphries, assisted by Kevin Tamati. Neil Holding sends it on to Leptrot, to Fieldhouse. Fieldhouse, huge gap down the centre. Still John Fieldhouse. Good tackle from Keith Holden. Leptrot. Holding. Holding. Danger here. Haggerty. Crunching tackle there by Des Drummond on Roy Haggerty. Clash of heads. Holding, Leptrot, Doherty, Platt trying to go through himself. Still going Andy Platt. Good cover tackle from Ronnie Dwayne. Say still on the attack though with Vivers. Doherty, Leptrot, danger here, round. Good charging down the ball. The ball's loose. Penalty given to St Helens for an obstruction. St Helens with Neil Holding decides to tap it to Tony Burke. Burke driving for the line, he's stopped about 3 yards short. St Helens looking for their first try. Lip trots. Doherty, crunching tackle on Doherty there. St Helens not had much attacking play inside the 25, but they're attacking now with lip trot to Fieldhouse. Fieldhouse looking for a gap down the centre, turns, tries to get the ball away but can't. It's well smothered by Bob Jackson. Lip trots, throws one out to Holding, danger here. Elio moves back inside, still Elio gets away to Vivers to Doherty. Doherty still going, out to Haggerty. Haggerty runs straight into Humphries, the ball's loose, picked up by Platt. Platt lends it out to Allen. Good tackle from Paul Bishop. St Helens still lose ground though. Good tackle from Paul Bishop. Goes right with Doherty, on to Vivers. Vivers looking for a gap himself and finds it. Vivers gets the ball away. Ledger's in. Barry Ledger scores. St Helens back in the lead. A try by Barry Ledger after it was nicely worked over on that far side, went quickly across the right, and Ledger scores. St Helens lead by 6 points to 5. A try by Barry Ledger. After Warington seem to have weathered the attack, they quickly moved across the right. Vivers' pass allowed Ledger to score. So St Helens back in the lead. So conversion attempt over on that far side. It struck well, but once again goes wide. Barry Ledger misses 2 out of 2. So 9 minutes left in this first half. St Helens lead by 6 points to 5. Paul Bishop to restart for Warrington, left-footed on this near side, bounces nicely up for Haggerty. Haggerty runs straight, but good tackle from Bob Jackson. Lip trot to Platt to Burke. Burke tries to drive down the centre, good tackle from Mark Roberts and Mark Roskell. Lip trot comes on this near side, throws it out to Haggerty. Haggerty moves back inside. Good tackle from Kevin Tamati there and Bob Jackson. And Tony Humphries, it's on to Doherty. Doherty outright with Holding, brings in Fieldhouse. A sloppy pass picked up by Vivers. Vivers comes back, shows the ball, runs straight into Jackson and is upended. Lip trot, right with Holding, that little chip over the top. Ronnie Dwayne has it, takes it well, and takes the tackle of Neil Holding. Paul Bishop. And offside there against Andy Platt. Not straight behind the man. Paul Bishop will go for goal to try and put Warrington back in the lead. Now we want another ball on, another ball flat. So Paul Bishop comes up and it goes wide, but Warrington should regain possession because St Helens will have to drop out for their own 25. Still 6-5 to St Helens. Neil Holding to drop out. Safely taken by Ronnie Dwayne. Dwayne looks at the opposition and drives forward. Keith Holden sends it on that blind side to Mark Foster. Foster just stopped on the halfway line by substitute Sean Allen. Roscoe this time to Keith Holden, back inside to Kevin Tamati. Tamati drives forward. Roscoe this time to Holden. Bishop floated past to Peters. Peters, nice ball to Rapati. Party knocks off round, finally brought down by Haggerty. Roscoe, Holden, little chip kick through. Testing Ledger, and Ledger can't stop it. Lovely kick from Keith Holden. So 6.5 minutes left in this first half. St Helens lead by 6 points to 5. Scrum down which St Helens win. Neil Holding comes away with it, throws it out to Doherty to Vivers. Vivers throws it but runs straight into Barry Peters. And Barry Peters brings Phil Vivers to the floor. Allen to Tony Burke. Burke drives forward. Still Tony Burke. Good run for Burke. Finally stopped by Joe Rapati and Tony Humphries. Doherty, lip trot, throws it out to Holding. Holding a long pass to Round. Round now drives forward on that far side. Peters in the tackle with Paul Bishop. Round still going though. Finally brought down. Allen to Holding. Short to Doherty. Forward there, lip trot. Good tackle from Humphries there on Holding. Vivers, lip trots. Doherty, switching back to Haggerty. Haggerty back to lip trot. Lip trot throws it out to Platt. Platt though running round in circles. Chances here for to Mark Roscoe. Well played by Mark Roscoe. Picks up the loose ball just outside the St Helens 25. Kevin Tamati back inside to Ronnie Dwayne. The ball's loose. Dwayne kicks it on. The St Helens have it. Allen, and Allen takes place within 10 yards of his own 25 before he's stopped by Roscoe and Foster. Holding to John Fieldhouse. Fieldhouse finds a huge gap. John Fieldhouse, still John Fieldhouse, throws it out to McCormack, goes behind him and straight into touch. Got a good break for Fieldhouse. This pass just going behind Kevin McCormack. So a scrum down, couple of the 7:25. Bishop has it, going to have a penalty. Bishop then to put for touch, left-footed. Makes no mistake. Donald will take the tap himself. Taps it and drives forward. Head down, makes about 5 yards before he's stopped by John Fieldhouse. Jackson. Roscoe this time short to Humphries. Humphries drives forward. He stopped about 15 yards short. 3.5 minutes left in the half. Keith Holden. Holden looks for the gap, still going. Rapati could have been older. Great run from Keith Holden. Couple of yards short. Kevin Tamati throws it out to Bishop. Bishop back to Johnson. Brian Johnson going to lose ground. 6th tackle just inside the 25. Going to lose about 15 yards. Jackson tries to drop goal and it goes wide at the target. Score remains at 6-5 to St Helens. Liptrot taps it, hands it on to Roy Haggerty. Haggerty moves forward. Stopped by Kevin Tarrant. The ball's loose, picked up by Liptrot. Liptrot throws it out to Fieldhouse. Fieldhouse goes back right to Tony Burke. Burke goes across field, straightens up. Good tackle from Kevin Tamati. Assisted by Bob Jackson. Goes right with Andy Platt. Liptrot throws it out to Holding. Chance here now, Paul round moves forward, still round, he's still going. Good tackle from Drummond and Ronnie Dwayne. 5 yards outside the Warington 25, Mark Elio sends it out right with Holding. Doherty, lip trot, back inside to Haggerty, looks for support, throws it out, so to Holding. Holding going right, still Holding, throws a nice ball out to Platt. Still Andy Platt, throws a nice ball out to Sean Allen. Allen slips, and he's lost the ball to Kevin Tamati. What's the linesman going to give? Kevin Tamati does have the ball. So the final 90 seconds of this first half, very close, just 1 point between the two sides at St Helens 6, Warrington 5. Scrum down just outside the Warrington 25. St Helens in possession with Doherty out to Vivers moving forward now, goes nice ball out to Allen back, chances here for Elio to McCormack's going for the corner, great tackle from Joe Party, fantastic tackle from Joe Party there, as Elio looked to tie his pass to perfection to McCormack, as McCormack was going for the corner. It was a great cover tackle from Joe Party. So scrum down 5 yards short of the Warrington line in the final minute of the first half. Bishop puts the ball in, Warrington in possession, Bishop goes blindside, gets away from Platt, gets away from another, good cover run from Paul Bishop. Tamati out left to Dwayne now looking into space, great run for Dwayne, the cover. Dwayne's still going, Roy Dwayne, can he go all the way? He's still going, and the ball's finally loose. Great run though from Dwayne. It's on to Elio going right, he's caught. Final seconds of the first half. Now in injury time, it's Tony Burke. Lip trot, Haggerty. John Fieldhouse goes to acting halfback. Fieldhouse forward, past to Lip trot, good tackle from Mark Roskill, 6th tackle for St Helens. McCormack short to Holding, Grubber, and bounces into touch, just come down. And there goes the half-time hoot-up. Entertaining first half. St Helens going, leading by 6 points to 5. A try from Barry Ledger and a goal from Paul Loughlin. Warrington a try from Joe Reparty and a drop goal from Paul Bishop. Half time then, it's St Helens 6, Warrington 5. Anderson and Otis is on for Warrington. Cannot see who has gone off at the moment. It may so second half about to get underway. It looks like Keith Holden has gone off at half time and has been replaced by Gary Sanderson. So 6-5 the half time score. 40 minutes to see which side will appear at Old Trafford in the Stones Bitter Premiership final. Apologise if we're not all together, but we've been pelted with stones all the way through that first half, and that ball sails out for a penalty from the centre spot for Warrington. Early in the second half, they decide to tap it. Roskill, it's Kevin Tamati coming up on the burst. Tamati drives forward. It's then pushed back. Mark Roskill acting half-back for Warrington, sends it on this near side to Tony Humphries. Humphries drives forward, makes about 5 or 6 yards before he's brought down. Mark Roscoe once more, sends it right with Paul Bishop, out to Peters. Peters looking for a gap himself. Peters now has gone to the stand-off position in the absence of Keith Holden. Important job for Barry Peters in this second half. Here's substitute Gary Sanderson. Sanderson moves forward, makes about 5 yards before he's stopped over that far side by Roy Haggerty. Roscoe to Bishop. Bishop floated past to Peters. Peters onto Rapati. Rapati drives forward, gets out of 2 tackles. Still Joe Rapati. He's driving forward once more. Fire takes 3 St Helens players position. Goes out right on the 6th tackle for Bishop. Tries a drop goal, but goes wide. So Warrington about to make a second substitution. Roy Dwayne's limping on this near touchline. Bob Eccles about to come on as John Fieldhouse is dragged down and loses the ball, but St Helens still have possession. Lip trot out to Holding, tries a kick, tries his old acrobatic falling down, safely taken by Brian Johnson. Johnson moves forward, gets out of a lip trot tackle, brought down by Roy Haggerty. Sanderson goes himself from the play, the ball and moves forward. Still Gary Sanderson, good strong run from Sanderson there, makes it to just short of the St Helens 25. Roscoe short to Tamati. Tamati drives forward. Warrington then pressing at the start of this second half. Goes to Bishop. Bishop short to Roberts. Roberts is driving forward, the ball's loose. It's finally picked up by St Helens and Paul Doherty. Couple of yards short of his own line. St Helens driving out with lip trots. Doherty left with Haggerty. Nice little side step by Haggerty. Still going Roy Haggerty, good run out to Ledger. Ledger's got Johnson in front of it, still Ledger feeds Doherty. Doherty's going for the try line, good tackle from Des Drummond. St Helens then on the attack at the start of this second half. Fieldhouse throws a pass out, it's a giant overlap. Round has it, out to Holding. Holding moves back to Allen. Allen gets the pass away and finally it's a good tackle from Joe Rapati. 6th tackle then for St Helens. It's Round trying to go through himself, throws the ball back, Mark Roscoe has it. Kevin Tamati driving forward. We're still contending with the Stones here. Those of you who know Knowsley Road, we're opposite the main stand here, where else St Helens supporters merge as Gary Sanderson clears his own 25. Here's Mark Roberts. Goes right with Peters. On to Tony Humphreys. Humphreys still going. Tamati drives forward, gets out of 1 tackle. Gets the ball to Drummond, no, he's got to stop Drummond. Drummond's here. There's Drummond scores. Great, the Warrington fans looking all there behind that far side. First half, but Drummond scores. Great break from Kevin Tamati. Drummond scores for Warrington and puts them back in the lead. Can't get too ecstatic because we've got thousands of St Helens supporters staring at me now. And they're happy at Drummond scores. The Stones are starting to throw again. So Paul Bishop in front of the post, chance to convert Drummond's try. Bob Eccles about to come on. In fact, he's sat back down. Roy Dwayne seems to... He's had his knee heavily bandaged, but I think he's coming off anyway. Paul Bishop then, in front of the posts. Safely through from Paul Bishop. Warrington 11, St Helens 6. 6 minutes to go the second half. Bob Eccles is on for Ronnie Dwayne. Oh, great try from Des Drummond. Great play from Kevin Tamati and Tony Humphries there. So all of a sudden you saw Des Drummond quick as a flash. He left Kevin McCormack for dead. Neil Holding to restart for St Helens, straight down the centre. Well taken, Gary Sanderson. And Sanderson driving forward. Good run from Sanderson there. Roskell sends it right with Bob Jackson. Jackson head down, driving forward. Does well, does the Warrington captain Bob Jackson. It's out to Humphries, who did that good run to set up the try, and he's moving forward again. Yeah, Kevin Tamati with him. Warrington certainly playing well at the moment. It's out to Barry Peters. Peters looking for a gap himself. A fist comes from round. Liesman doesn't decide to come onto the field. Gary Sanderson short to Bishop. Bishop kicks for touch, testing Ledger. Ledger won't cut that off, he's too slow. Good kick from Paul Bishop. Safe play, midway inside the St Helens 25 for a scrum down. Holding puts the ball in, St Helens in possession, Holding to Ledger. Ledger is going nowhere. Good tackle from Gary Sanderson. It's out to Neil Holding. Holding, good run here from Holding, but has to swing it back a long way to Elio. Elio to Burt, good tackle from Gary Sanderson there, assisted by Humphries. Some great strong tackling coming in from Warrington at the moment. Liptrot left, Doherty, Fieldhouse swings it back. Liptrot, Vevers. Good tackle from Tony Humphries and Paul Bishop. Vevers plays it to Haggerty. Haggerty, good tackle there from Barry Peters. Great tackle on Roy Haggerty. Really playing well, Peters, at the moment. So all 13 Warrington players on the field. But here's Elio. Great tackle from Rapati, miles forward. Crunching tackle there from Joe Rapati on Elio. He really felt that one. Have a few sore ribs in the morning after a tackle like that from Joe Rapati. Scrum down there, midway inside the St Helens half of the field. Warrington in possession with Peters. Peters looking for a gap himself, gets a lovely ball to Johnson. Johnson's going for the corner. No one's going to stop Brian Johnson. Warrington beginning to run riot. Brian Johnson there, he got away from Sean Allen, but Warrington fans are delirious. Old Trafford, here we come. Third try, Brian Johnson. As soon as Brian Johnson gets the gap, nobody in this world is going to stop him, and he proved it there. Once again, the St Helens fans have gone very quiet around me. Some of the stones are coming out once more, but Brian Johnson goes over for his 25th try of the season. Got a bit of fight as well below me to our right. After a great time for Brian Johnson. The Warrington fans, is it going to be a Premiership repeat for them? So Paul Bishop, as St Helens well for substitute. Bishop. Great kick, great kick, great kick, great kick! Bishop there, replying his critics in the St Helens crowd with a fantastic kick. 17-6, Warrington suddenly rushed into a second half lead with 10 minutes gone in the second half. Neil Holding to restart for St Helens. Knocks it to the corner. Drummond takes it safely. Basking in the sun, Warrington. Des Drummond driving for, gets out of one tackle. Great quick clearing line run from Des Drummond. It's on to Tarrity. Warrington really punishing these St Helens forwards at the moment. Some punishing runs. It goes out to Bishop. Bishop onto Bob Jackson. Jackson head down. Makes a few more yards before he's stopped by John Fieldhouse. Across the line, Roberts looking for a gap once more. Warington forwards at the moment, really running hard. There's only a few St Helens forwards who are doing that at the moment. It's on to Eccles this time. Eccles moves into space. Great crashing run in from Bob Eccles. Great run from Eccles. And he's taking 3, 4, 5 St Helens players to bring players down at the moment. 6 tackle. Bishop kicks across field. McCormack there. Kevin McCormack then, over on that far side. But he's going nowhere. He's crushed into touch. Why didn't the player come inside? Kevin McCormack there, he could see 3 Warington players coming across. He just had to move inside, but he decided to go down the line. It was pushed into touch as Saints lose 6 tackles, and he can't afford to do that in a semi-final. Liptrot about to go off to be replaced by Paul Forbot. So both subs on both sides have now been used. (17-6) Warington lead. They still took this second half by storm, and they're really showing Saints how to play rugby football at the moment. Warington in possession again. Here's Peters, played a blinder. Beautiful pass to Johnson. Warington at the moment certainly throwing this ball about, and Helens having no reply. Phil Weaversdale lines on the tackle. It's on to Gary Sanderson. Sanderson, first tackle of the afternoon for Paul Forbot. Eccles drives forward, makes a couple more yards. Mark Roscoe right with Paul Bishop. Bishop throws it past to Peters. Nice pass to Rapati, crashing forward. High tackle there. Rapati still going. It was a high tackle to start with there on Joe Rapati. Rapati tried to retaliate. The referee just saw the high tackle in the first place. Interested to see which way the penalty's going. It was a high tackle in the first place. Joe Rapati then retaliated. Penalty to Warington for the original high tackle. St Helens fans break into riots. Great kick there from Warington, really on the attack now. 10 yards from the St Helens line. Des Drummond to take the tap himself. He takes it, he's driving forward. Drummond gets out of one tackle, he stopped a couple of yards short. Warington could finish the match here with a try. Roscoe, Bob Jackson. St Helens now have to defend if they want to stay in this Premiership semi-final. It's on to Humphreys. Caught by a high tackle once more. Humphreys is still buddying forward. Good run from Tony Humphreys. Kevin Tamanty's waiting, so is Mark Roberts for the run. Here they come. It's Roberts, and he drops the ball. The ball's loose over the St Helens line. And St Helens in possession, right on their own try line. The St Helens will have to try and clear the lines here now. Swings out, early touch there for Paul Forbot. He doesn't make much ground. What can Holding do? Switches it on to Burke. Burke's going nowhere because Kevin Tamanty's there. Neil Holding, left. Doherty having to clear to relieve the pressure. We'll give Warington 6 more tackles. The ball bouncing on the hard ground. Ryan Johnson takes it safely. Johnson then moves forward, he's got Drummond with him, goes himself, beats Platt, does it? No, just caught, but difficult there for Johnson. The ball bouncing on this very rock hard ground. Here's Bob Jackson driving forward once more. Great run from Bob Jackson. St Helens at the moment in trouble in the forwards because Warington forwards really going hard. Here's Eccles. Eccles beats tackles. Bishop short to Roberts. Roberts gets out of 2 tackles. Desperate tackle from Tony Burt to bring him down. Roscoe to Bishop. Bishop out to Barry Peters. Humphreys goes down the centre back to Peters. Peters goes left. Barry Peters now, he's got loads of time and still goes forward. Good play there from Barry Peters, he was given oceans of space and time. 6 tackle then. Goes to Bishop. Bishop, little chip kicked through. Barry Ledger takes it safely. Ledger goes straight. Barry Ledger. And Ledger finally falls to a crunching tackle from Kevin Taverty. Doherty out left to Fieldhouse. Taverty's in there again, gets the ball away to Holding. Holding throws it out now. Round. Good tackle from Tony Humphries there. Round gets back up and Mark Roberts is there. Doherty, Holding, shows it out. Space here for Forber. Forber still going, looks for support, finds it from Allen. Allen to Vivers. Vivers to Doherty. Great tackle, Mark Roscoe. What a tackle by Mark Roscoe there. A try-saving tackle, and Warrington have it with Peters. But what a fantastic try-saving tackle by the Warrington hooker, Mark Roscoe. That is a try-saving tackle, if ever there was one. Here's Drummond, but Mark Russell's lying injured after that tackle, but what a tackle it was. Here's Drummond jinking over on that far side. Mark Russell injured there, but that try-saving tackle, he deserves all the credit for that one. As Doherty was through, he had a clear run to the post, and Mark Russell, the Warrington hooker, came back. That was a fantastic tackle, and that could see Warrington to Old Trafford. Here's Bob Jackson. And Mark Ruskell in some agony there, but he could just have kept his side. And the doctor's coming on, doesn't look a good sight for Mark Ruskell as Humphries. He's had a point to prove this afternoon, he really is proving it. Some good strong running all afternoon. Goes to Bishop, Bishop kicks, testing McCormack. McCormack takes it safely. And Mark Ruskell being carried off the field. That is a bad start, but he's just kept his side in the match. He deserves a lot of credit, does Mark Ruskell. Stretcher's being called for. Keith Holding will have to come back on. Here's Haggerty. Good tackle there, wrapping Haggerty up, giving him no room. Mark Ruskell then goes off after making that try-saving tackle. It's St Helens on the attack with Forber. Forber going across fields, chance here for Elia. Joran passes, had him round up again. Bishop's on Forber, there's finally Holding. Bishop's after him again. Neil Holding over that far side and Bishop catches him. Royce at the moment tackling hard. And a penalty given to St Helens. Keith Holding lifts back onto the field. St Helens go for touch. 17-6 to score. John Fieldhouse has it. Just over 20 minutes to go of the match. Here's Haggerty driving forward. Can Warrington keep St Helens out once more? Goes out right, Burke switches it back. Space for Round. Great tackle from Brian Johnson. Warrington at the moment bringing the tackles out, bringing all the stops out to keep St Helens. Another try-saving tackle from Johnson. Fieldhouse back to Burke. Try-saving tackle from Bob Jackson. Some great tackling coming in from all 13 Warrington players at the moment. And a penalty given to St Helens. Played for that, played for it. I don't know how it can be a penalty when he was lying on the Warrington man myself. St Helens will go for goal. So should be an easy kick this one for Barry Ledger. Can Warrington hang on? Mark Ruskell's gone off injured on a stretcher. But if Warrington do win this game, his tackle will be remembered. Along with some great try-saving stops there from Brian Johnson and Bob Jackson close to the Warrington line. But still, we've got 20 minutes to go. Here's Ledger. And he finally puts one over. So 17-8 to Warrington. St Helens 8, Warrington 17. Paul Bishop to restart for Warrington. Left footed, knocks it deep into space. Kevin McCormack's there, takes it safely. He'll move forward. Good tackle from Bob Eccles and Gary Sanderson, the two Warrington substitutes. Platt, short, 2-4, but good tackle again from Barry Peters. Platt swings it out to Round. Good tackle from Bishop. Round's then pounced upon by Foster and Peters. Warrington at the moment tackling. The tackling during this game has been unbelievable. Doherty kicks. Testing Drummond and Johnson. Johnson takes it safely. And Brian Johnson now moves forward for Warrington. Beats Fieldhouse, beats Doherty. Switches it back to Drummond. Drummond back to Johnson. Great play. Johnson has another tackle. Still Johnson. Great play there for Warrington. Getting it to back his Anderson Helens half with a two-man move between Johnson and Drummond. This time it's Tamati to Gary Sanderson. Sanderson gets well over 10 yards he makes. Tamati left to Bishop. Bishop brings in Peters. And it's on to Rapati. Rapati gets away from one. Gets the ball away to Sanderson. Sanderson straightens up. Still Gary Sanderson makes it to the St Helens 25. Tamati to Bishop. Bishop switches it back to Bob Eccles. Eccles driving forward. Stopped by Tony Burke. Kevin Tamati goes himself in the play. The ball swings it out to Jackson. Jackson moves back inside. He's caught. 6 tackle there for Warrington. Bishop's gone to the acting halfback position. Kicks it straight up. It's picked by Burke. Burke, great tackle there. Fantastic tackle from Bob Eccles. Haggerty's going nowhere. Gets the ball away though, and it goes through Doherty's legs. He's going across field. Good tackle from Gary Sanderson. St Helens struggling at the moment inside their own 25. It's out to Fieldhouse. Good tackle from Barry Peters. And Warrington can soak this up at the moment. St Helens have got 18 minutes to go. Eccles in a good tackle there on Platt. Neil Holding swings it out to Vevers. Vevers tries a kick. And that will sail straight out and ball back for a scrum down. The Warrington fans are loving this. So, little over 15 minutes to go. Ball goes in. Bishop has it. Warrington then with 5 tackles in the 25. Look at St Helens miles offside, and it's on to Mark Foster. Foster going across field, still Foster. Just caught by Haggerty. Barry Peters is acting halfback. Sends it out right to Gary Sanderson. Sanderson moves forward. Caught by Tony Burke. Another try here could finish it. Bishop. Caught by Round. If that isn't a illegal tackle, I don't know what it is. It's Barry Peters. Lovely pass back to Bob Eccles. Eccles trying to storm through. 6 tackle then. And a knock on and a scrum down. So scrum down midway inside the St Helens 25. 15 minutes of the match to go in this Stones Bitter Premiership semi-final. A place in the final Old Trafford at stake. Paul Bishop has it. The Warrington fans are jubilant. Here's Tamati. Here's Peters. Barry Peters swings it back to Johnson. Johnson, chance here for Keith Holden. He takes it well. He's injured though. He's limping. He'll just take the tackle. The ball's loose and Brian Johnson dives on it. Keith Holden there limping. He could do little else with that. Here's Bob Jackson driving forward once more, making good ground. Kevin Tamati goes himself. He'll try and drive over. Still Kevin Tamati. He's driving for the line. He stopped about 3 yards short. Another try here could finish the game. Foster out to Bishop. Peters. Peters stopped by Round. Paul Rouse seems to be the only St Helens man who's putting any aggression into his tackles. Eccles, he tries to drop goal. It's taken by Vevers. Vevers now for St Helens moves forward. Elio. Elio's into space. But he's going nowhere. Crunching tackle from Eccles there. This time a chance here now over that far side. Forbo But he's dragged into touches it. No, just manages to keep in play. Can Warington hang on? Elliot. But Warington have got him wrapped up there. Crunching tackle there. St Helens at the moment going in ones and twos. It's Roy Haggerty this time, but there's no support. Here's Doherty, brings in Platt, who's running hard. Andy Platt now. Chances here for St Helens. Platt looking for support from Ledger. Foster's after him. Foster will catch him. Another fantastic try-saving tackle from Warington. This time it's Mark Foster. It's the sixth tackle. Must score Fieldhouse. He's dropped it. What a miss of the year! What a miss of the year! Ball round, only had to catch the ball and he misses it. Oh yes, this is what we want. This time it's Bishop out to Roberts. Roberts, he's brilliant. St Helens could do that all day for me. Here's Paul Bishop, it's out to Barry Peters. Here's Joe Rapati. Rapati driving down the centre of the field. Another good run from Joe Rapati. But St Helens there could well have blew it. Round only had to catch the ball and he dropped it. Here's Kevin Tamati. And St Helens get the slow hand clap from their own fans now. But another try-saving tackle that time by Mark Foster. You've got to remember that as well. And a good kick from Bob Eccles. Easy as you like. Well, we've had some try-saving tackles this afternoon. First it was Mark Ruskell, then Brian Johnson, then Bob Jackson, and now a try-saving tackle there, Barry Ledger. He looked as if he was all over a try, and Mark Foster come back with a fantastic tackle. And there's, from the play the ball, St Helens miss a golden opportunity to score. So little over 11 minutes to go. St Helens in possession. Cross the line, Vevers, space now here, it's out to Ledger, mile forward, Ledger comes back inside, still Barry Ledger, mile forward there, Barry Ledger. St Helens then on the attack, Allen, Doherty, holding, back to Doherty, throws it out to Fieldhouse, he can't take it, this is what we want. Well, St Helens at the moment, they can play like this all for the rest of the match for me. Wouldn't like to be sitting next to Alex Murphy at the moment. Here's Paul Bishop to Barry Peters. Peters, he's played well on a custom round at standoff for him. It's on to Tamati, switches it back to Rapati, knocks off three men. Great strong run from Rapati, knocked off Platt, he knocked off Fieldhouse, and that's the centre against two forwards. It's out to Bob Eccles, Eccles storming through the centre, still Eccles gets it away, was it obstruction, it picked up by Peters, does a good recovery job, looks for support, finds it from Jackson, gets that away to Sanderson, Sanderson just couldn't get the ball away to Johnson. But Warington at the moment running rings down St Helens. Here's Jackson, switches it back to Foster, Foster head down, gets away from two tackles, he's still going. Where is this St Helens defence, one asks. It's like a sponge, huge leaks it everywhere. It goes right with Bishop, Bishop switches it back to Eccles, Eccles gets away from another tackle. St Helens missing tackle after tackle after tackle. 6 tackle, 5 yards from the line. Tamati back to Bishop, tries to drop goal, it's there. The Warington fans acclaim it with a cheer. (18-8) Warington lead. Less than 10 minutes to go. And Warington going to be at Old Trafford in a week's time in the Stones Bitter Premiership final. The St Helens fans are going, they've seen enough, they've been beaten. That's a good kick though, brilliant take Keith Holden. Holden has to give it to Foster because he can't run, he's injured at the moment. And Foster's driving forward on this near touch line, great driving run for Foster, what a run! He just run into Ledger, how he got into the Great Britain side this season, one never knows. Foster's played a blinder against him tonight. He even gives him a little smile. Here's John Rapati. Rapati's fighting through. How many tackles St Helens are missing? Unbelievable. Here's Brian Johnson onto Bishop. Peters, Tamati. Tamati wrapped up this time. Peters there, picking a loose ball up. It's on to Humphreys. Humphreys beats it going forward. The ball's loose, picked up by Drummond. The referee's whistle goes for a knock-on. (18-8) Warrington lead. So the St Helens fans asking Murphy, what's your excuse? Well, excuse is that it's been beat. Oh, unlucky Barry Peters, unlucky there. And where's St Helens there, throwing it wild, but here now, chance with Allen, throws out to Ledger. Can he score this time? Barry Peters, brilliant again. Great tackle, Barry Peters. Ledger's had 3 goal opportunities, he's missed them all. Here's Elio. Platt, Tamati has it with Eccles. The ball's loose again, yes! Bob Eccles has it. Unbelievable. How did St Helens get to Wembley? Here's Bob Jackson. He's still going, gets away from 2 tackles, he gets away from 3. Warington running riot. And I'm enjoying every minute of it, if I do say so myself. Here's Bishop, on to Gary Sanderson. Sanderson going down the centre of the field. Slow hand claps from the Saints fans, they've had enough. There's no excuses for referees this afternoon. He's, ooh, knock on. Well, there was excuses that there was bad tries, bad refereeing at Wembley. Well, there's just one excuse for Alex Murphy this afternoon. He's been beaten by a far superior side. Better tacklers, better fitness, better runners, better all-round performance. St Helens in possession, are they? No. Paul Bishop offside. There's still time though for St Helens. About 6 minutes to go. Have to score twice. Has been known. Roy Haggerty. Good tackle from Foster, they're dragging him to touch. Will he get him in? Yes, they will! Oh, bye-bye St Helens, first tackle, what a crapo. And Bob Eccles giving her a little smile. Oh, what a load of rubbish for the Saints fans. And listen to that. First tackle pushed into touch, brilliant performance for Warrington today. And Bishop has it, so he was offside, but Warrington in possession. And there's another injury there to Bob Jackson. He's done a captain's part this afternoon. All 15 players have been used, and all 15 players looking for a Premiership replay, as they did against Halifax last season. Here's Barry Peters, played a blinder at stand-off in the second half. Did a fantastic try-saving tackle on Barry Ledger on this near side, and that's an international class winger against Barry Peters, playing his only second first-team game of the season. Gary Sanderson sends it right with Bishop to Eccles, back to Bishop. Bishop looking for a gap himself, and there was a tackle from Holden. He's still going, brilliant play from Bishop, he's still going. This is brilliant. The ball's picked up by Haggerty though. Good bit of play though from Bishop. 5 minutes to go exactly. Platt, wrapped up by Tamati. Have St Helens got anything left? Sean Allen to Doherty, to Holding. Fieldhouse, crunching tackle, brilliant tackle, yes. Neil Holding, acting halfback, sends it left, Doherty, back to Forber. Forber, still going forward, looks for support, finds it from Vivers. Chances here now for Elio, goes out to McCormack, he can't even catch a ball. How many times has St Helens dropped the ball this afternoon? Well, it's because of the pressure Warrington are putting them under is unbelievable. And in fact, giving them out of the match, I don't know why, but here we go. Been outplayed by all 50 Warrington players this afternoon. So time running out, we've got about 4 minutes. Bishop's in there again, but he's penalised for offside. Can Warrington hang on? Say decide to tap it, getting each other's way. Tony Burke. Warington once again, the tackling this afternoon has been unbelievable. One remembers the Premiership semi-final last season against Wigan, the tackling won the game that day. The tackling at the moment, knocking the stuffing out of St Helens. Ah yes! Oh yes! Oh, the fist there thrown by Round, and the referee didn't even see it. Oh, the linesman. Oh, but what a tosser not to catch that. Oh, brilliant. And the St Helens fans who were all chucking stones in the first half when it was winning, they've all gone home, they've seen enough. Barry Peters there really played a good game. And Barry Peters there getting a fist that wasn't seen by the referee. So we've got 3.5 minutes to go in this Premiership semi-final, and all St Helens fans are drifting away. There they go. They've just been beaten by a good side this afternoon. And Warington now will play out these 6 tackles, kick it downfield because into the last 3 minutes of the game. And Warington, not many people thought they'd come. Many people thinking St Helens after a Wembley defeat would bounce back, but none of that. They've met a team twice as good as Halifax were. Paul Bishop played a blind up. Tamati too. Here's Jackson, good captain's game. Bob Jackson gets up, gives a little laugh to Paul Round. Here's Gary Sanderson, come on, done a good job in this second half. Into the last 2 minutes. 6th tackle, Paul Bishop. Kicks across field. Phil Vevers, oh they've caught one. Here's Phil Vevers. Going over on that far side, crunching tackle from Mark Roberts and Des Drummond. John Fieldhouse throws it out. Oh, fantastic tackle from Tony Humphries. What a tackle! I'm sure everyone Tony at Rosie Road this afternoon is thoroughly enjoyed this performance. Oh, brilliant tackle from Paul Bishop on Roy Haggerty. Fantastic tackle. John Fieldhouse. Fieldhouse, oh yeah, Tamati Lilly with an interception, but St Helens going nowhere. Tony Burke brought out a super tackle from Barry Peters. This is what we want. Here's Vevers, kicks downfield. That's the only thing St Helens can do to get any pressure. That Johnson's after it, he'll keep that one in, no problem for Brian Johnson. Here's Johnson, runs straight, and Ledger finally manages to tackle someone, and that has hurt Brian Johnson. It looks like a bit of cramp. Brian Johnson, so the clock stopped with 2 minutes to go. Well, St Helens fans shout, do you know the rules, Whitfield? Well, if he fell down with crap in his leg, I'm sure he wouldn't be jumping up like that. Brian Johnson gets to his feet. He did a good try-saving tackle early on in the game. The tackling in the game has won it this afternoon for Warington. They lead 18-8. Tony Humphries, he's had a point to prove, and he's proved it this afternoon. Sent off in the league game, but he's really got his own back on St Helens this afternoon. So now moving to the last 30 seconds of the game. And Warington look like going to Old Trafford for the Stones Bitter Premiership final. Well, they'll meet either Wigan or Halifax. Halifax were leading in that game, so it could be a Premiership repeat of last year's final. Oh, repeat the John Player Trophy final if Wigan do win. Referee stops the clock again. But Warington there, they could just stand there and laugh. They could just say, look at the scoreboard, look who's 18, look who's 8. And Warington no doubt will be tuned up for the final. The tackling this afternoon is really not the stuffing out of St Helens. Paul Bishop, Bob Eccles, he'll just kick downfield. Phil Vevers goes back to pick this one up. Vevers then. Rapati's after him. Rapati brings him down. The Warington fans there. Hands in the air. Fantastic. Kevin McCormack. No chance. Into touch. There he goes. Fantastic. Load of rubbish from the Saints fans. It's not been a load of rubbish from St Helens, it's just been fantastic play from Warrington. Warrington looking for possession again, but Holding has it. And Holding's found a gap now. Neil Holding comes back inside, but Barry Peters, what a tackle from Barry Peters. On Neil Holding. He's there again, but the ball's out. Doherty throws the ball out to Platt. Platt still going. Terrible pass. St Helens pick it up though. Now played over, coming up to a minute of injury time. John Fieldhouse. St Helens looking for a consolation try, perhaps throws a wild pass out. Forber has it. Forward back to Allen. Allen, but Warrington there. It's dropped again. And Drummond gets away from one man. Here's Drummond, runs straight, takes the tackle. Here's Tony Humphries running strong. He's still going, great run from Humphries, makes another 5-10 yards. Now played about 2 minutes of injury time. Kevin Tamati. (18-8) the score. Bishop, right to Eccles. Eccles once again, time on the Warrington side. Lovely kick, lovely delicate chip. There it is! Warrington at Old Trafford in the Premiership final. Tony Barrow and Alex Murphy shake hands. The Warrington fans come on, they are jubilant, and they've got right to. They have beaten St Helens with a fantastic performance from number 1 Brian Johnson to number 15 Bob Eccles. Every player tackled hard and run hard, and that takes them to Old Trafford for the Stones Bitter Premiership final. Warrington 3 tries, Brian Johnson, Des Drummond and Joe Reparty. Paul Bishop 2 goals, 2 drop goals from Paul Bishop. They will meet Wigan in the final. Warrington-Wigan final. That should be a cracker. St Helens, they could only manage a try from Ledger and 2 goals from, one from Lachlan, one from Ledger. So Warrington for the 2nd year running going to the Stones Bitter Premiership final. This time at Old Trafford to meet Wigan. After a display of power and tough tackling, not the stuffing out of St Helens at Knowsley Road. The final score in the Stones Bitter Premiership semi-final. St Helens 8, Warrington 18.